Sports Illustrated naming LeBron James again Sportsman of the Year. Chris Stone, part of the process. He is the editor-in-chief, Sports Illustrated. Chris joins us now. Chris, thanks for joining us. Give us an idea of why LeBron James again 4 years after he won it.
I think it really goes back to, there's a bunch of factors here. We start with performance, and it's not just winning the championship. The backstory of coming back to Cleveland in summer of 2014, his home region, what superstar in his prime has done something like that, and vowing to bring one trophy back to Northeast Ohio. And that's really putting your neck out there a little bit. And he delivered on that promise, and he delivered on it in the most dramatic way possible, leading his team back from a 3-1 deficit and probably putting together the best and certainly the most important three-game stretch of his career. Secondly, I think without Cleveland as part of this story, I think we're talking about the Chicago Cubs today. Yeah. And, there's a very real connection between athlete and community here, and that's going to be elaborated on in Lee Jenkins' story that's going to be posted later today. But, that's an essential variable here. We talk about the Cubs drought, and it's an extraordinary story. And I'm almost certain it took extraordinary circumstances to choose someone else other than the Cubs here. But if you look at Chicago, the city, like I said, it's a great story, but I don't think Chicago grapples with self-esteem issues, at least as a sports city. You look at Cleveland and the way it kind of viewed itself and the way it was kind of viewed from outside for all those years, and then to have, 6 years ago, LeBron leave him the way he did. And then he comes back and he delivers a championship to a city and a region that really was championship-starved here. And a third reason here is, he lent a voice to some very difficult issues this year. He wasn't the loudest voice. He wasn't the only voice to talk about issues in a very polarizing year that extended beyond the political spectrum. Extended into the sports realm. You can say that this year in some ways was the most polarizing year from a sports perspective since 1968. And he lent his voice to that discussion and, reminded people of what a powerful vehicle sports can be and, the influence that athletes have in advancing and pushing discussion around difficult, hard issues.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.